All right, you guys have a test tomorrow. I'm going to go over 5.1, 5.2. You guys have your quizzes back. We went over them. If you have any questions, please ask. But if you understand how to do the quiz, you should be good for Chapter 4. A majority of your test, I'm going to say it again, is from 5.1 and 5.2. So make sure you understand how to work with triangles because that is the majority of your test. So I'm going to go over this. Please have it open on Notability so you could check your work. You guys had to submit this morning. It was homework if you did not finish it in class. So we're going to go over the answers. For number 1 and 2, you had to classify the triangle by its sides and angles. So you had to have known the names of the sides and you had to have known the names of the angles. So please make sure you wrote it correctly. Spelling. If you spelt it a little incorrectly, it's fine. So looking at number 1, can someone tell me classifying it by its sides? Are there any congruent sides? Are there any sides that are the same measure? Good. No. So what kind of triangle would this be classifying it by its sides? Good. This has to be a scalene. And classifying it by its angles, is it right, acute, or obtuse? Good, it's going to be an obtuse. Don't worry about number 2 because you will not have a distance question on the test, and that is a lot of time. Okay, in order for you to know if it's an obtuse triangle, as long as you have one angle that's larger than 90 degrees, it's obtuse. So if you're looking at this one right here is larger than 90, it has to be an obtuse. If they're all smaller than 90 degrees, then it's acute. All right, number 3. For this one, what kind of triangle is this? Classifying it by its sides.
Scalene.
It's not scalene. It's an isosceles triangle. Okay, isosceles triangle.
It's still raining.
I know, it's okay. All right, looking at it, if it's an isosceles triangle, I know some of you guys asked me this yesterday. This angle right here is the same measure as this angle. So we should already know what's the measurement of the inside of a triangle. Good. Everything in here has to be 180 degrees. So I need to set it up. I'm going to set it up as an equation. I have 4x plus 2 times 3x plus 20 because both angles are going to equal 3x plus 20 equals 180 because again it's the inside of my triangle. Now I just have to solve it. I have to solve for x. I'm going to distribute. I have 4x plus 6x equals plus 40x, not equals, plus 40 equals 180. Subtract 40. Combine like terms. I'm going to 10x. So you kind of walked in when I explained it. Since it's an isosceles triangle, this angle right here is the same measure as this angle. So I doubled my 3x plus 20. Another way some students probably wrote it is 4x plus 3x plus 20 plus 3x plus 20. I just multiplied it by 2. It's the same thing. Got it, Marco? Okay. All right, so now looking at it, I'm going to get 140 degrees. Divide both sides by 10. Crossing out my zeros, x is going to equal 14. Okay, so have to know for isosceles triangles, your corners are going to be the same measure. They're the same measure. Questions on 3? All right. I'm not going to move it all the way, so you can still copy it. All right, looking at number 4, who could tell me information we know? Looking at number 4, what do I know about number 4? Good. These two angles are going to be added to equal this angle right here. So setting it up, I'm going to have x plus 15 plus 6x minus 26 equals 5x plus 7. Combining my like terms, I have my x's go together and my constants go together. So I'm going to have 7x, and then what's 15 minus 26? I'm going to get negative what? Good. Equals 5x plus 7. And then now I have to solve for x. So I'm going to subtract 5x to both sides. Subtract 5x. I'm going to get 2x minus 11 equals 7. Add 11 to both sides. 2x equals 18. Divide by 2. X is going to equal 9. Any questions on this one? All right. All right, looking at number 5, what do I know about my two acute angles? Perfect. These two angles added together are going to equal 90 degrees. So I'm going to set it up that way. Yeah.
Couldn't you do like those two plus 90 equals 180?
You can do that. I can add those two and 90 equal to 180. That's fine. I like to keep my numbers a little smaller. So we should still end up getting the exact same answer. Yeah, so if you did it that way, just check your answer to make sure it's the same. So I'm going to write it as 3x minus 6 plus 3x minus 14 equals 90. Combine my like terms. I have my x's with the sign to the left and my constants. So I have 6x minus 20 equals 90. Oh, it's 2. I didn't see the 2. I knew I was doing something wrong. Let me start all over for this one. I was wondering what was going on because I'm like, that is not going to give me my answer. Okay. Starting over for this one because I forgot the 2. It's 2 times 3x minus 6 plus 3x minus 14 equals 90. Whew, there we go. Distribute first. 6x minus 12.
Hi, did you please send Amanda to Sarah's student services? She's leaving.
Okay. 3x minus 14 equals 90. Now I can go ahead and combine like terms. I have my x's. I have my constant. So now I'm going to have 9x minus 26 equals 90. I'm going to add 26 to both sides of my equal sign. These are going to cancel. 9x equals 116. Last step is to divide. And your answer is x equals 116 over 9. That's fine if you left it like that. Questions on number 5. You guys will get these 3 questions. You'll see a lot of these on your test. So majority of your test is solving. You have to make sure you're solving it correctly.
Is there tutoring after school today?
Is
there tutoring after school today?
Yeah.
I need to get at least 70.
Okay. All right, looking at number 6. We have to know equilateral. Here's an equilateral triangle.
Wait, Miss Chung, can the answer is a fraction?
Yeah, you could leave it like that.
Why?
You can leave it as a fraction.
If you get a fraction, yes, you can leave it like that. That's fine. If you were to simplify it and it were to be wrong, I would probably take a point off. So I suggest you, if you get a fraction, leave it. However, if you could simplify the fraction, you could simplify it, but to be honest, I would just leave it. All right, equilateral triangle. What do we know about an equilateral triangle? All sides and all angles will be equal. My angles are going to be equal. So if my inside equals 180, what should all the angles be? What should my angles be if the angles should be equal? Good. All of them are going to be 60. If you did not know that, you probably had a difficult time solving this. So here's A, B, C. A is 6x plus 18. B is 3x plus 2y. I have to solve for x first. I cannot solve for y because there's an x in that equation. So I'm going to solve for the measure of angle A first. And I'm going to use what I wrote. 6x plus 18 equals 60. Subtract 18. And then last, divide by 6. And x is going to equal 7. Now I'm going to solve for y. I'm going to take what I had.
Wait, Miss Chung,
Yes.
can't you do like 6x plus?
Anytime you have an equilateral triangle, all angles are going to equal 60. Go quickly. All right, so we're going to go ahead and solve this one. I have 60, or let me write it the other way. I have 3 times 7. All right, where am I getting that 7? I'm taking the 7 and I'm plugging it in. Plus 2y equals 60. Solving it, 21 plus 2y equals 60. Subtract 21 from both sides. I'm going to get 39. And then last is divide both sides by 2. Y is going to equal 19.5. Any questions on this one?
Would we have to make it a decimal? Like,
I would make this one a decimal.
if we left it like that, would it be wrong?
No. It would still be right. Say it again.
So if you left it as y equals 39, would it be?
That's fine. Yeah, if you put y equals 39 over 2, that's fine. All right, number 8, you will get questioned like this on the test, meaning you have to plug stuff in to find the missing information. So looking at this, there are a total of 3 triangles. I need to figure out information to solve for x, and I need to figure out information to solve for y. So how could I solve for y? Y to me looks like the easiest, so I need to find my y first. So looking at it, how would I solve for y? Good. If I'm looking at this, I have one triangle right here. And I have two angles right here added together to equal my outside angle. So all you had to do was 74 plus 50, which is going to give me 124. Y equals 124. All right, now that I did that, how do I solve for x? How do I solve for x? I have to find something else before I can solve for x. What do I have to find? Keep in mind, this right here is one triangle. And this is also one triangle. So what do I have to find before I solve for x? Anybody have an idea?
There's 3 triangles.
Mm-hmm. How would I find x?
You gotta like do the vertical angle. 685.
Okay, so yes, you're on the right track. This we know right here is 85 because it's vertical. These are vertical angles right here. What do I have to do? Okay, we found that. What else? What do I have to do now?
Minus 180.
I have to add them. So let me go ahead and add them. 85, I'm going to do it over here. Plus 50, what am I going to get? Okay, what do I have to do with that 135?
Subtract.
Good. 180 minus 135, what would I get? Good, and where does this 45 go? It would go right here, right? So now I found another corner for my red triangle. Here again is my red triangle. I have two corners. I have 68 and I have 45. How would I find my x now?
So the 50 is not part of the red?
The 50 is not part of the red. I'm going to have 68 plus 45. What would I get?
68 plus 45. That's about
113.
113.
Then I get 180 minus 113. What would I get? 67 degrees. All right, we're going to do the next question. Yes. Go quickly, please. All right, I did not solve these ones, so we're going to solve them together. Number 10, just cross it out. Don't worry about number 10 because you're not going to see a question like that. Looking at number 11, it says, in triangle ABC and RST, angle A is congruent to angle R and angle B is congruent to angle S. What can you say about C and T? What can we say about those two angles? Good. Angle C is congruent to angle T. Don't worry about explaining it. Questions on 5-1? Any questions on 5-1 before we go to 5-2? No? Okay. All right, 5-2. Hopefully the first one was pretty easy. They're telling me figure ABCE is congruent to HIJFG. Identify all pairs of corresponding parts, then complete the congruency statement. So we have to identify all pairs of corresponding parts. Remember, we have corresponding sides, congruent sides, and congruent angles. So let's identify my sides. Who could tell me congruent sides?
B is congruent to F.
Say it one more time.
B is congruent to F.
Okay, B and F aren't sides though, they're angles. So let's do the sides first. Yeah, the sides. So I'll start it out. I have AB is congruent to what?
FG.
I would write it the other way so it's matching. Okay. So AB, we could do FG is fine. FG. What else?
GH and AE.
GH. Okay, so I'm gonna do, I started with AB, so I'm gonna take that shape first. So you said which one?
Line AE.
Okay, AE and what?
GH.
AE and GH. What else? ED and what?
HI.
Okay. DE and
You can do that.
oh, I already did DE. DC, my mistake. Let's do DC. Someone's out when they come back. DC and what? JI. IJ. You could, it's still the same segment. Okay, BC and FJ. Did we get all of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All sides, good. Now let's do my angles. So you could use your congruency statement or you can use the image. All right, angles that are congruent. Angle A is congruent with what? G. Angle B is congruent with angle F. Angle C is congruent with angle J. Angle D is congruent with angle I. Angle E is congruent with angle H. So looking at it, what would my congruency statement be? A, B, C, D, E is congruent with G, F, J, I, H. Good. Any questions on number 1? Again, it's matching. We should know how to match. We're just matching it. All right, let's go ahead and do number 2. It says find the value of X, Y, and Z. So these two are congruent triangles. I'm going to tell you right now they are congruent. So they are congruent. So looking at it, how would I solve for X first? So everybody should have it open on their iPads. How would I solve for X? How would I get my X first?
So what you do is
What number?
For number 2, yeah.
you add 34 and 81
Hold on. How would I know it's 81?
because they're vertical angles.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to solve for X first. So solving for X, I'm going to do it at the side. 34 plus 81. What would I get? 115. So what am I going to do with that 115?
Subtract it from 180.
Good. 180 minus 115. What would I get? Good. So X is going to equal 65 degrees. What would Y equal? Y equals 6. And I'm going to fill in information that I'm missing. The two congruency marks are congruent to 65 degrees. And how would I find angle Z? How would I find angle Z? What do I have to do? Perfect. I have to add my two inner angles to equal my outside angles. So 81 plus 65. What would I get? 146 would be Z. Good. 146. All right, number 3, it says, show the two triangles are congruent. All right, for this one, I'm going to show all 3 congruency angles and congruent sides. So looking at it, I'm going to write all my information. My 3 congruent angles, or no, let's do my sides first. My 3 congruent sides Who could tell me one side? All right, I'll start it out. LM is congruent to OM. PM is congruent to what? MN, good. And LP is congruent to ON. That's my 3 congruent sides. Now let me find my 3 congruent angles. I know angle P is congruent to angle N. What else do I know? Jaden?
I have a question.
Yes.
Where you wrote PM is congruent to NN, would it also work as PM is congruent to NP?
Yeah.
N.
MN or NN is fine. All right, what do I also know? Okay, I cannot say angle M and angle M. So I have to state the angle using 3 points. So I'm going to state it as angle, what was it? PML, and I have to write it the exact same way for the other one. Is congruent to angle NMO. I'm still stating this specific angle, but I'm stating it using 3 points. So now I can state angle L is congruent to angle O, and how can I know that? Because my third angles theorem. And I know the second one because they're vertical angles. Okay? Number 4, I said not to worry about it because we didn't do systems, so you can just cross it out. You guys have your test tomorrow. Majority of it is 5-1, 5-2. But please study your quiz. You got them back, so study them. Test tomorrow.